Sometimes in life, I get hungry.
What the fuck? Welcome to Wisconsin. My beautiful, glorious Wisconsin. I love Wisconsin. So this is the lake. We're gonna sit by the lake and watch the sunset, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna have an update. So, update of my life. I'm doing really well right now. Doing really good. I had some good circumstances happen. It's been a long time. How do I even begin this? I'll tell you about the good news later. So let's rewind. Rewind. 5 years ago, I was addicted to fentanyl after I made the video about being addicted to heroin. And I was lost. And then I met this girl that I was in a relationship for a long time with. And we hit it off. I started living with her. Really didn't make any videos, but there's a couple that came out in the past that you probably saw. Then I got on, as we were in the relationship, I quickly dissolved my friends, the old people that were influencing me to be doing that kind of stuff, and cut them out of my life. And I wasn't doing that anymore, and I have not done it since, all these years later. But I was addicted to kratom, which I'll get into in another video, what that is and how it works and how its negative, positive effects. But it's basically like Suboxone or methadone, if you know what that is. It's like a maintenance opioid kind of thing, but it's a plant, so it's a little different. It's not like it gets you so fucked up, but it's very addictive at the same time. If that makes any sense to you, it ruined my life. I couldn't feel anything fully, or even half, you know? I could feel it, but it was like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah. But it's not like, oh, I'm here, I'm present. It was a different type of experience. So I was addicted to kratom for years and years and years in this relationship, and then COVID happened, and the relationship was abusive. It was abusive. And this is where I talk about something I don't want to talk about. I was abusive. I was fucked up. I was doing a lot of benzos as well, and just being reckless and just really lost and miserable in LA during COVID. Oh, fuck. That was painful. I don't know, I just was verbally abusive, and I would like break things, and I'm really ashamed of that time in my life. I started going into treatment at this point, and the relationship got a little bit better. We were sending each other letters and treatment. This created, the bond. The bond was so tightly woven together of like I fucked things up. Because in the beginning of this relationship, I was a piece of shit. I didn't realize I really like this person. This is someone I really have a connection with. Nope, I was fucked up on fentanyl. Fetty. So we were in a relationship, things were going better. We were connecting, getting along. So the relationship went on. I went in and out of treatment. None of it worked. I could never get sober. The reason why I couldn't get sober is because I would be sober, right, for like a month or two, but everything just felt dull, and without that warm fuzz that opiates give you. You know what I mean? Everything was fucking dull, you know, after getting sober, even for 3 months in a row. Like, even if I was sober for 90 days, it's dull life. Life is dull now, I guess. You broke your brain. And it was just like, there'd be a point where I'd just be like, I can't feel anything. Like, I feel so disconnected from everyone and everything. I feel like I'm just a sim, like in an emulator, just I kept relapsing over and over again on kratom, on kratom. In LA, you can go 1 mile in any direction and you'll be at a smoke shop that sells kratom. And it got worse and worse over time, which was perfectly analogous for the progression of my own addiction and lack of self-control. It was like 3 years ago I decided, I am sick of this. I've been addicted to kratom for a couple years. I've been messing up with drugs for quite a few years. It's not cool. This is not me. I want to do something different. And I knew about this thing called Ibogaine, but I finally got recommended by my therapist, wonderful therapist. I love her so much. Thank you for doing this. And she's like, I'm not recommending it to you, but here's a place that my friend works at. And it was called Healing Gardens. I went to Healing Gardens, and they were a psychedelic treatment center, which changed my fucking life. Changed my fucking life. So much so. Still in the relationship, I basically went down to Mexico. I had an Ibogaine flood experience, which I'll go into more detail of it later. But basically, like, it was like a 8-hour period where I was like kind of tripping, and then like a 1 or 2 day period where I was resting, and it was a very strong like trip. It's not really like, ooh, colors, lights trip. It's more just like, vzz. It feels like there's saws in your brain, like doing surgery on you and stuff. It's some real medicine right there. I don't think it's a drug. You got sober using drugs? You got sober from drugs using drugs? You're crazy, Chris. What's your problem? I'm actually the only sane person in this crazy world. Is actually how it feels sometimes. And that makes me crazy. It completely got rid of the withdrawals. It gave me color and life back. And I remember specifically when I came out of it, I listened to music. Like, I had my phone in bed with me, and I was listening to music, and I was like, holy shit, this is really good. Like, I can feel it on all of my cells. Like, I can feel the music and the chills and just all of this energy flowing throughout my body. I started talking to people like in my family, and I noticed I could perfectly articulate what I wanted to say. I could perfectly just go in depth and figure things out on the fly, like with my mind. It was so beautiful, like as if I had never had a drug addiction. So clear-headed, so clear, feeling all of the energy and feelings in my body. And just that experience alone, right there, gave me enough hope to, when things are gonna get hard again, which they did get hard again and again and again, to hold on and to not go back down that dark rabbit hole. That alone was a massive game changer. Changed everything and got me sober. Well, sober-ish, because who the fuck wants to be sober in this goddamn world? I mean, come on. Like, have you seen, like, what we're dealing with? Which I get it. Like, if you want to do AA and be, like, sober that way, and like, nope, I'll never touch anything that changes my consciousness unless a doctor prescribes it, that's your choice. But doctors don't know shit about you. They're not inside your head. Only you know shit about you. And that's why plant medicine is such a beautiful thing. It's a rocky road. It's a sticky, mixy, weird, wild road, and it takes a lot of guts. But it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I've changed so much, and I feel like a lot of people aren't gonna accept me for the person I am today. I feel like a lot of people honestly are gonna judge me because I've changed so much. Made a lot of mistakes, and you know, I gave up on life. I became a fucking fentanyl user. I can remember the day when it hit me. You did fentanyl willingly. You did a drug that's been named after death in Russia. Willingly, knowingly. It was like this confrontation of self. I was in Mexico. I did some other medicine ceremonies, some Tepescohuite ceremonies, which are basically ayahuasca, if you've heard of ayahuasca. Then I went back to LA to my relationship, and I was struggling because LA's not a good place for me. I was sober, but I was struggling. And you know, to be honest, I was doing like kava, which it's not like really a drug, but it's kind of, it's kind of a drug. I don't even know, it's legal. You don't even have to be like 18 to drink it, I don't think. But maybe they do. It's just not law that you have to be 18 to drink it. It's just considered a supplement. I did kava. I was hiding it from my relationship. I was super ashamed of it because, you know, it felt like it was like the last chance, and I thought she wouldn't support me. And I told her, I was like, I really want to go back to Mexico. I think there's more work I need to do there. They invited me back. They said, oh, Chris, you can come and work for us. Like, go ahead and come on down. And I knew I could, if I went there, I wouldn't use kava. I would be doing things for my recovery, like focusing on myself and really loving myself. My girl at the time was like, nope, you can't do that. You cannot do that because I am using your car to drive to work and I'm not gonna buy a car. But you know, I put her through a lot, so it's like, yeah, understandable that she's bitter. I struggled with it for quite a few days, talked with a bunch of people, until one day, I just took my car and left. And took all my stuff, well, not all my stuff, took a bunch of my stuff and left. I went down to Mexico, and this led to our breakup. Like, I guess she thought, you know, I'll never leave her. I might be a drug addict, but I'm never gonna, like, leave. And I wasn't leaving her, I was leaving LA. She was like, oh, go take a train down. Go take a train down so I can be there and then have a really hard time going anywhere from there and not be able to drive anywhere, and like, it's not cool, it's not a fun time, it's not a good look. So I lived in Mexico for like a year and a half, like 2 years pretty much actually. At some point in that I went back to LA, I was staying there for a little bit, sort of trying to like maybe I can fix things between us. But, you know, there was no fixing things, like, ever. Like, from everything that happened throughout that thing, it was just, I had to let go. But, you know, even though it was terrible in a lot of parts, like, there were so many parts that were beautiful. Like, sending love letters when I'm in treatment and, like, I can't leave and I can't go out. And then sending these letters and then waiting for them to come, like, we broke up. And I was sad about this for quite a long time. And I was really trying to rekindle things because I felt responsible. I felt like, oh, I've fucked things up between us. You know, it's my fault from the beginning, and if I can just put enough effort in, I can heal things, and then it'll be better than before. Like me, because I went through drug addiction, and now I feel more like a whole person inside now that I'm through that terrible event. And so just in our relationship too, it'll make us like a more intense, like more like loving, understanding couple for one another. It was a weird idealist fantasy that I had and I held on to for a long time until like 6 or a year ago when at that point I was in Mexico and my friend was struggling with alcoholism. He was really struggling with, you know, drug addiction and drinking a lot every day because of some dramatic circumstances that happened that were out of his control. You know, I don't blame him. He's a very good guy, and he got sober. He's sober now. So I left Mexico, 6 months of holding on. And this was quite a few months ago, like maybe 3-4 months ago. I decided, fuck it. The person that I was the most proud of was born in Wisconsin. Now my life is just filled with unfortunate situations and dramas, which are mostly a result of mistakes I've made in the past. I need to let all that go. I need to move to Wisconsin. And fuck, that was hard. And it's still a little hard because I don't know anybody here. All my friends are married. They're like, have a family and kids. Yeah, I have a reputation here. Everyone's like, oh, that's Chris, you used to do heroin. I mean, I'm sure people think I probably still do heroin, to be honest with you. Yeah, they do. That has happened to me since I've moved back. And it's been fucking hard. I'm a completely different person now. You know, I'm so involved in spirituality, in enlightenment, and oneness, and connection. Oh my god, you fucking mosquitoes. You just like, I've been dating and I found someone so cool. Oh man, we are friends. We're like best friends, you know? She's so beautiful and so kind. She just adores me and she sees all the good characteristics in me that I wanted someone else to see. And I'm so different now. Like, I just want to try to like filter out and say through everything, like, I believe in God now. And I'm not talking about Judeo-Christian Bible man in the sky watching over you. He's with you when you're sleeping. He's with you when you're awake. He's gonna send you to hell forever, which is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Nobody deserves eternal damn, like, nobody's actually put themselves that believes in this eternal damnation. Like, no, what is eternity? What is an eternal experience? It's forever. It means endless. It means infinity. Like, no one's ever really contemplated how evil that would make God. It's not that fucking God. That God is a piece of shit. The God that I believe in is the real God. Sorry to burst your bubble, but it's the God that's inside of you, the God that's inside of me, the God that is connected to all of us, to all the plants and animals, to all the good and the bad things in the universe, the God of duality, light and dark, the one master of the universe. You know, it's the connection. I believe in the connection. I believe in the spirit. And I realized when I was in Mexico having this journey, I've always believed this. My entire life, I've always known this deep down. It's changed my life beyond my wildest dreams. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys. I've been so nervous and excited to share all of this with you guys. You guys mean so much to me. I have so many things to show you guys. So many things. But I want you to know that all of you, God is you. God is inside of you. God, not your ego, not your individual identity, the little edging God out part of you that is always there. The true, deeper core self, the conscious light that's inside of you is God. Imagine it. If you were God, wouldn't you be bored? Wouldn't you want to experience yourself in every possible way and aspect with both good and bad, light and dark, so that you can feel fully, so that it's not boring or plain, and to have true freedom, which is what life is, to have true freedom to do whatever you want within the limits of the reality that you're inside of. It's all inside of you, individually. And I know that might be a hard thing to believe, but it's very true. I know it to be true. I've seen it many times. There's so much more to this life than what we know, than what we understand. You know, now I do a lot of yoga, I do a lot of breath work, and I want to share this stuff with you guys too. I want to talk a lot about psychedelics, different microdosing protocols and psychedelics I've used, and going over them, overviewing them. I just wanted to update you guys because I'm going to be making a lot more videos real soon here. I'm going to be back on a weekly schedule to start. Hopefully bump it up to twice a week maybe. And I'm just so excited to start sharing again. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching this update video where I talked about a relationship that I was in for a long ass time that I'm sure you guys know about and have seen, where I talked about my Mexico journey, my new spirituality, the exiting out of my addiction stage of my life. Things are so much better now, like beyond my wildest dreams. I don't want you to think they're perfect though. I still struggle, I still get sad, I'm still a human being. Anyways, you guys, if you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you want me to talk about in the future based on what I said. Anything I talked about in this video, I would be happy to go in much more detail about it. Any of my practices, any of the psychedelics, any of the journeys I've done. Keep on being yourself, keep on loving yourself, loving the people around you, breathing in the life of air, breathing in the air of life. Oh, that's the shit. Oh, woo, woo, that's the fucking shit right there. That's that good ass prana, baby. I'll see you guys next week. Kiss on the forehead, just like old times.
But I gotta remember that olive will all live if I eat olives.